Welcome to another episode of the INSOMNIACS podcast. I'm Johnny Vegas. Nick's over there on the other side of the couch, and we got Yage here today.
What's up, peeps?
How's everybody doing? It's been a little bit of an absence since our last one. Couple weeks, I guess. Here's the lighter. We were just talking about sports, Jeremy Lin specifically, and we brought up the chink in the armor.
Oh yeah.
Article.
He had
what
like
the fuck? We'll let Nick
assists
explain it.
in that one game that I was saying. They were on a 7-game win
Who
streak.
did they play that night? It was the Nets, right? It was their first loss in that long streak, and I think they lost to the last place Nets, to Darren Williams in the last place Nets, I believe.
I know they lost the other night to the Nets. I don't remember what team
I think
they
that was
lost to.
because it came out whenever they didn't do well, it came out that night at like 2 a.m. or something like that, and then they took it off a half hour later, and the guy got fired.
In the armor. That's what it said.
Chink in the armor.
Which, if you really think about it, doesn't make any sense because the Knicks weren't really armor before Jeremy Lin.
Yeah.
And if you wanna, the thing about this, Adam Carolla made a good point about this, and I'm on the same exact page with him. When you come out with something like that, the first person to say that it's racist is the racist one. If the guy didn't mean, because we don't know if the guy meant it or not, we have no possible way of knowing. The first people who thought it was racist was ESPN, because it said chink in the armor, right?
Well,
right?
Wait. Was that directed towards Lin or towards?
It was directed towards Lin, and it was meaning
there was
Lin
a photo
and the
of
team.
Jeremy Lin next to the headline, okay? And I'm going to say right here, like, I'm in journalism class, like, I'm probably going to have a career, and the number one thing you learn is, like, to pick your words carefully, and, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but think about it. He's used it before. It was a perfect meaning for the article if you don't use it as a racist title. Because they had just lost their first game, and it seemed like they weren't gonna fucking lose.
You know it's a racial slur. Though.
You know it's a racial slur, but he has proof. He has proof that he's used it before in articles to mean the exact same thing.
But I'm pretty sure it wasn't his idea.
Not to mention, he hit the enter button at what time?
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
But
who the fuck is coherent at 2 in the morning?
Everybody's been talking. It's been a huge deal has been made about his Asian ethnicity already. Like, from
everybody's talking, and that's the reason why automatically somebody thinks it's racist. But from what I've heard on his side, because all I've heard,
I'm sure
mostly
is the backlash from the Asian community and fans and everybody. And then Disney, they had to do something.
Well, ESPN. They came out and fired the dude right away.
Well, first they suspended him, and then they decided,
and when does that happen? Except for in our ultra conservative society now. If you were to do something shitty like 10 years ago, what do? They give you a warning. You get your first. Like, they look at you. They look at your past. They see if you fucking are a repeat offender, and they're like, "All right, go fuck yourself." But this guy has never done anything. This guy's used this title before, and who gives a fuck if it's an Asian guy? Who gives a fuck? The people that are focusing on the fact that it was the Asian guy was in the picture are the people who think it's racist. And he's sitting there like, well, I didn't mean it to fucking mean anything. I've used it before. It's just a fucking title to an article. If you guys want to see it as racism, then you can see it as racism. And he can actually sue them if he can prove that he's used it before in a non-racial way. And he'll get fucking money out of it because the only people that see it's racist is ESPN and the fucking fans who are fucking ignorant fucks.
Yeah, I mean,
because they're New York fans, obviously.
It's really unfortunate, you know, because I mean, like he just got fucked out of his job.
It's the same thing as like if you come out and you say something and it's kind of generalized, and then you take it as that thing, then you're the first person to think that way. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he didn't mean it that way. Maybe he did. Maybe he was trying to make a joke. If he was trying to make a joke, then yes, he deserves to be fired.
Yeah.
But if he hit the enter button think about what you have to write about. You have to write about not just Jeremy Lin, but you have to write about this whole team.
Yeah.
You have to write about and how many fucking journalists pick their title at the beginning of when they write? Nobody. Hardly anybody I know that writes picks a title right off the bat before they start writing. Usually it's write, then pick the theme, then make a title. And if you read his article, it's about the fucking team. And it's about how the team Well, maybe somebody's kind of gotten to him. Maybe people are figuring him out, and that was the chink in the armor, and not the chink with the eyes.
Well, okay,
in
and
armor.
I will make the point because I have been, I've probably been a bit of a hater in or pointing out the negatives, and I had forgotten until Rudy made that point. Though he had actually, since he had taken over as a starter, he led the NBA in turnovers, and that game was his like career high in turnovers.
He had 9 that game.
Yeah.
No, I'm very angry about this. That the guy got fired right away. I think that's the stupidest fucking thing ever. It could be racist. It could be a joke, but it needs to be investigated. And
yeah, I mean,
the fact that he has proof that he's used the title before should already give him a fucking free will. You know, I mean, tell him fucking don't use it again when you're talking about an Asian guy. Realize you're talking about an Asian guy. Yeah. But there's some people out there who don't notice the blur between the colors. You know what I'm saying? There's some people out there who do write objectively and they don't mean to be racist. It's those people, just like Rick Santorum or those fucking Republicans who focus on gay shit. They're usually thinking about gay shit more than gay people. And that's what I'm trying to make a point as. All these people, they're so ultra-conservative that they're always thinking about not trying to be racist. They're always trying not to offend people. And then it becomes fucking like a game for them to find something to make racist. Find something to fucking point out.
Everybody's so fucking sensitive nowadays. Dude.
I mean, even if it was a joke, I mean, when's the last time somebody's been called a chink fucking the racist way? Since we were building they were building tracks?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
They have so many different slurs nowadays. You know?
I mean,
like zipper heads.
It's the same thing all around the table, though. If you can't take the cracker, if you can't take the nigger, if you can't take the fag, then just shut the fuck up and don't say shit. Because if you start complaining, then, I mean, you're just gonna get more fucking slurs thrown your way. Just shut the fuck up and don't say shit. Let people say what they want to say.
And you know
because
what?
you want to live life the way you want to live life.
Look at it this
Let
way.
other people live life the way they
just
fucking
words.
want to. Exactly.
They're just words. This man got fired for words.
The last time words meant anything was thousands of years ago, written in a book that everybody follows.
Words just got him fired. He's not gonna play Words with Friends.
He's not playing Words with Friends anymore.
No, no he's not.
What I want to see is like who hires him next. Who hires him next? Because that's gonna be
Fox.
Fox. Why there are no Asian people on Fox or something? Is there?
I don't know. Fox doesn't give a fuck, dude.
Fox doesn't give a fuck.
They'll hire anybody.
Fox doesn't give a fuck, dude. Seriously.
But they said chink on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart like multiple times in one episode.
Because
he's a comedian.
Comedy, yeah,
he's a comedian.
It's
but even if you go that far, I mean, fucking, what was his name? Fucking the guy from
Mayweather.
30 Rock. The guy from 30 Rock,
Tracy
Morgan, said that he was gonna stab his son if he ever told him he was gay. And
and
everybody got pissed about that. And it was mostly not gay people that got mad. Yeah, that was he was on stage, literally
on stage, and like,
and a bunch of people took him seriously and got mad.
Yeah,
you're like, are you retarded? Yeah, you are retarded, probably, because most people are. I mean, seriously.
Sometimes I think Tracy Morgan is retarded.
Tracy Morgan's a psycho, and that's what makes him funny. I mean. You have to be kind of crazy. Rogan has said it a million fucking times. You have to be kind of fucked up to be funny. You have to have something fucked up happen to you in your life. You have to not have a dad, not have a mom, gotten molested. Something when you were a kid had to happen to you for you to grow up with these fucked up stories, this fucked up perspective about life. You don't go through life getting straight A's, your parents love you, and then you become the funniest motherfucker like Louis C.K. Like that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Probably the only anomaly I would believe is Jerry Seinfeld. Because how bad of a childhood do you think he had with all his jokes he says? What about that? What about that? What's with these airports, man? I don't know, but like people, I want to know how many people read the title and didn't read the article.
Honestly,
exactly.
I didn't read the article.
I read it. I read it right. I read it. You told me chink in the armor like early in the morning. It was like really or late at night, and I went on there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this, and then it was about the Knicks, and I was like, okay, and I thought it was funny just because I automatically thought chink right away because I make those jokes, so I automatically think race. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then I read about it, and I was like, oh, maybe he didn't mean it like that. Maybe he meant it like you would mean it about Kobe and the Lakers.
I'll be honest. Yeah,
you can use that title.
I didn't see it as racist when I first read it too, just because I know the phrase "chink in the armor."
Right, yeah, because we're
when it comes to
medieval,
like sports,
we're medieval fiends.
Well, when you try to like dissect somebody, you say they're good at this, they're good at that, but this particular thing is the chink in the armor, the one
the
like
thing
flaw
that
they have,
the one weakness that you can fucking take advantage of.
Yeah,
like Jeremy Lin's bad passing, like he had mentioned in the article, and the fact that Jeremy Lin was the only. He also mentioned in the article.
I mean, like, and then
that there was no help. Like he was
the
only one doing anything. So,
and like that title wouldn't even make sense if he was.
If you were trying to be racist, that's what I was saying.
I
was like, how would it? How would
like what? Like what
chink,
the fuck?
Chink in the armor.
Who says that? Oh yeah, like
first
you're
you have
an Asian guy in armor,
right? Like
what the
first you would either have to be talking about samurai or something, or you'd have to be saying that the Knicks are some kind of good team, which they weren't before Jeremy Lin came around. So it wouldn't make sense.
Jeremy Lin is the savior.
And Adam Carolla even said that too. He's like, it doesn't make sense if you try to read it the other way. The only way it makes
blaming
sense
Tom Brady for the Patriots not winning the Super Bowl.
Well,
they wouldn't even they wouldn't even be there without him.
Yeah. Actually, if you watch that play, that pass to Wes Welker, it was kind of a bad pass.
Okay, but
it was kind of overthrown. Yeah. Wes Welker 9 times out of 10 would have came down with that. Adam Carolla said this shit too. I'm pulling all the shit off Adam Carolla's podcast.
Or say like if Kobe. Like, it's like saying Kobe's the chink. Well, like you said, in the Lakers armor, like he does fucking everything for that team. Like,
and then would you say he's racist? Because isn't Bryant like part Asian too? Doesn't he have like an Asian?
I think because his name's Kobe's.
Yeah, Kobe's Asian.
No, I know he's from.
I know. I think he's like Tiger Woods, where he has like one of them's Asian. Somebody's Asian. Somebody's Asian. I know that
he's adopted. I don't know.
He's even got the Asian eyes too going on. And the round Asian. He doesn't have the typical black head. He's just
like
not to be racist.
He's the best athlete because he's like a mixture.
He's the perfect mixture of intelligence and athleticism.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Asian and black,
but his dick's still 3 inches.
Oh, that would be a huge con, wouldn't it? Like, oh man. Kobe's the best basketball player ever, but don't ever pull his pants down.
You'll be disappointed.
Shit doesn't even go past his balls.
That's why he needs to have a 54-room mansion.
He has to rape chicks.
What guy can't keep a woman when he's got $100 million?
Oh, speaking of women, have you seen the? No, that is funny. No, that's funny. That's funny. Have you heard the new Duncan Trussell Family Hour?
Yeah, I did.
With Artosis?
Artosis.
Yeah, dude,
yes.
that was
a good one.
That was a sick one. If anybody...
Artosis, he's a StarCraft 2 player, so he's a professional video game player.
Well, actually, he's
a commentator, right? Sorry.
Yeah, he's like Madden, but for StarCraft 2. And StarCraft 2 is basically a game where you control an army and you fucking try to kill the other guy. Basically. That's basically what you do. Yeah, it's, he went on that. What I really liked that they were talking about at one point was, like, do we really know that right now we're conscious and when we go to sleep we're not? Like, that's not our real life. Like, what a lot of people are talking about, being able to plug your consciousness into a virtual world and being able to go around and have another life in a virtual world in the future. Like a game, kind of like if you've ever seen Gamer, where they put everybody in the game and it's like you're living it. You feel it. You don't remember it when you're going in, but when you come out, everything else is normal.
You're back to normal.
Like, how do you know we're not in that already? How do you know? How do you know it hasn't happened already? Especially with theories about like time travel and stuff. How do you know that we're not in a dream, and then when we dream, that's when we're conscious, but we don't remember because we're in this dream? Does that make sense? Is that like a weird theory?
It's not.
Is that too weird?
It's an interesting theory.
There's a lot of philosophers who have brought up the theory about not knowing when you're asleep or awake.
You know what? It would be almost too much if we didn't already know that we're such a tiny little micro fraction of what's actually out there.
Yeah, but I mean, even that guy.
And then it can make sense, just like how we're one pixel
on a screen.
All these pixels like make up the picture of Kobe right here in the background.
And we're only one little white dot on that.
We're just one little planet in a a vast
It like
array of
Men in Black at the
galaxy
end
clusters.
when they're
Yeah.
playing marbles and you see
You're
like
just like, whoa.
the thing. There's our galaxy, our universe is just in one marble, and then they're playing with like a bag of marbles, and they're in a marble, and those marbles are in a bag of marbles, and those marbles are marbles in a bag of marbles, and then you're like, oh my god,
No.
oh my god.
Marbles.
But then the thing on Earth contains the whole universe.
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck, right.
And you're just like, fuck. Man.
And then
You're
just like,
knowing
I
that
love Will
now, you go back a couple thousand years and you look at what they believed back then. The Earth was flat. The stars out there were revolving around the Earth. And how far have we really come from that? How far have we really come from that? We barely figured out that those are stars and that the world's round. Just not even a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah. Not making any
it's
any major progress.
It's kind of weird, man, to think
Unless
about
they had made progress,
we're not that
but we're
old.
not being
Like,
told.
We're not that old. That's just what's weird.
Yeah.
Like
true.
if you really want to think about it, it's like we're like humans are like teenagers right now.
I can see that.
Right about turning like 13. Like the front side of being a teenager, not the back end. Like the front end. Barely. Like just,
Dude, we're developing so quick.
It's not us developing quick. It's our fucking shit we make developing quick.
Yeah.
Our bodies aren't doing shit. Our minds aren't changing. Nothing's changing about us. We're just having more efficient ways of being able to receive information and be able to know things.
Yeah,
That's why like a lot of younger kids are smarter now because they're like, well,
I have the history of all of mankind in the palm of
my hand. Yeah, in my hand.
That's why I said to Minnie on the way here.
And then like 85% of that shit is bullshit. Like in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, I guess.
You read it, and you're like, and then like the more you read it, the more depressed you get, and the more depressed you get, the more you realize that you're just a little piece of shit in a pile of shit on a rock that's swimming in a
vast
toilet somewhere. Yeah, like
you're just a droplet of sand on the beach of eternity.
Of a fucking piece of bacteria on a rock flying through space. It's so and like the things we get entertainment out of are like watching people do things on TV and sitting in our house, and we're not fascinated every time we walk outside because we're so complacent with our surroundings that everything we see goes into our brain as just normal input memories. And like every time you go outside, you always see the same trees. Every time you go outside, you always feel like you see the same sky and the same roads and all that. And your body tells you to get sick of it, but really, your body's telling you to get sick of it because if you were in awe every day of what's around you, you'd probably die because it's so insanely fucking
awesome.
It's so insanely out of our grasp of
what
knowing what the fuck it is. Like that's why we've made up a bunch of shit that people follow, like religion or like science, because we don't really know, and everybody wants to know, and even if we did know, we wouldn't be able to fathom what we're knowing. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be possible to know all that shit. Like, even if we tried. And we live on this earth with a bunch of other psychopaths. And we're just hoping one day that... Well, we're just hoping every day that we don't walk outside and meet one of these fucking crazy fucks that says, in the name of God, I'll kill you. Then you end up in a fucking Starbucks getting bombed by a fucking Middle Eastern piece of shit.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Well, and honestly, we live in a country where, what is it, like, Artosa said, like, probably like 80% of the countries fucking hate us. Because we're more fortunate than them, and we're fucking assholes and don't give them shit. We don't give them shit. That's why people are mad. People aren't mad at us because we have things. We're mad because we don't help them have things. Like, we use their country so that we can make our things that we have. Send safe. Go fuck yourself. You can't even afford this shit.
In a way, it's helping out their economy, giving them jobs and shit, putting factories in there. But it is fucked up.
No,
I mean, like,
not when they're doing just like slave labor. It's not.
I mean, not all countries are like that. I mean, some countries import and export the top food of the
business owners. Yeah.
Like I mean, we don't even get our fucking water from here. I mean, if California was cut off from Colorado, we'd die so fast because we have no fucking water.
Yeah, this water here is disgusting.
Because we don't have any water to fucking... All our water's fucked here. We can't... It's all salt water. There's no fucking rivers. The whole, like, middle of our fucking state is a desert. Like, going up, like, fucking 600 miles to when you get to, like, Sacramento and shit.
Yeah.
That's why like 80% of people live around the beaches because it's where the water is. It's where life is. The further you go in, the less of a chance you have to live. Like it's like Jurassic Park when they were like running away from all the T-Rexes, and the only way they could get away was running to the beach. And then the military people showed up on the beach. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, I'm saved because I'm by the beach. Why is the beach so safe? There's fucking animals way bigger in there that we don't even know of.
Yeah.
Like that could just come up and fucking snag you out of the fucking top of the water.
So fascinating, dude.
Like, the ocean is scary as fuck.
Because there's so many things out there we don't know. We haven't
Dude,
discovered.
There's holes in the fucking ground that you can fit like 2 fucking Mount Everests in. Just holes in the fucking ocean. There's parts of the ocean we can't explore, like space, because it's so fucking insane down there that we would just die because our fucking monkey bodies can't take it.
Just all the pressure and shit down there, just like.
Because you're going more and more towards the magnetic center of the fucking Earth.
Yeah. You're
like, oh shit. And then, that's how volcanoes are made. I mean, the holes in the crust.
I wonder if anything lives down there. Probably.
There is a
has to be some
rarity of
shit,
animals,
though.
but I mean, there is some animals down there. They're either really big or they're really small. That's the only thing that can survive down there. Something super ginormous like fucking Loch Ness. Or like that one fish from Star Wars, the Phantom Menace. It's always a bigger fish. The really big one. Like one of those things lives down there.
I love that line.
Honestly, actually, everything down there is probably small because there's no food and light. So you can't grow. And the pressure's so insane that they wouldn't be able to really get that big. Which is why all the animals that are close to the surface are bigger. Because they have food.
And light.
And room. And room.
And room, yeah.
But the thing about fish that's really cool is they adapt to their environment. Like my turtle. Turtles and shit do that too. The bigger cage you put them in, the bigger they'll get. The smaller cage you put them in, they'll stay a certain size so that they can live, not die from overgrowing themselves to their environment. 90% of all trade travels through the oceans. 80% of people live on water. And something about 20% of something else in this commercial. Navy commercial. Oh man,
that's a trip. Global force for good.
No, if you really think about it, we live in one of the most insane fucking times in history.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of blowing my mind right now.
Equivalent to when they started creating cars, were probably the only other time as impressive as now.
Now it's pretty
or airplanes, That's what we're on the verge of. I mean, we've already created another organism, technology. Like we're basically demigods here on fucking the planet.
Exactly. Nick, what were you saying about the microchips they're putting into people?
Oh, where they can start to give you your medicine through just like...
Oh, yeah. Like basically a drip in your arm. Like a vial. Basically like a vial or a patch or something. Something contains your medicine and then has a timer or something that releases the chemical into your bloodstream whenever you need.
Then I saw that now they have like these tiny robotic things that can kill cancer cells.
Oh yeah, nanomachines. Those will get big. Soon I'm sure
those will go
most
viral.
of our fucking most of our damn blood will be like nanomachines and shit.
But and then did you guys also see by the end of the year it's gonna be I think it was Google that's coming out with it. They're gonna have like search engine glasses that you can buy for like $250 to
like 3D glasses but with a HUD on it, and
yeah, so you could just fucking have this and you'd be like Google searching with your eyes and shit right there.
Whoa, Nick, hold on.
Yeah, I mean you can already. I mean Siri already is the beginning of Skynet, right?
Wait. The beginning of Skynet?
Yeah, Siri. Siri.
Yeah,
from
iPhone. Yeah.
I mean, she knows everything.
I go to the bathroom real quick.
And yeah, it's all good. And she's she learns about you. She knows your schedule. She knows where you've been, where you are. She has a personality.
Really? She's like your own personal secretary.
You can literally tell Siri whatever you want, and it'll.
I didn't know that. I thought Siri just fucking like talked back to you.
It's not. It's the closest thing to artificial intelligence in the palm of our hand that we have.
That's insane.
You can just go.
I thought it was just like one of those like GPS.
No, you can just say like, Siri, what is the deepest trench in the ocean? And Siri will tell you the deepest trench in the ocean is da-da-da-da-da, and I got it from here. And it'll fucking show you.
Fuck?
You can even
Do you
tell
have Siri
Siri.
on your phone?
No, that's a 4S, dude. The 4S has it. You can even tell Siri like, stop calling me Rudy, call me Johnny instead. And it'll say, okay, I'll call you Johnny from now on. And so whenever it talks to you, it says, like, say you have something on your calendar, it'll say, hey, Johnny, you have this on your calendar today, you know. It's such a trip. So everything, basically...
Oh my god.
Your phone has a constant RSS feed from your brain. And an RSS feed is basically, like, a constant stream of information coming from something, like, websites use it a lot of the time. Podcasts use it. So that when they update their blog or wherever their podcast is, when they update that, it automatically updates to iTunes because it's connected to the RSS feed. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think like how the iPhone is. It's connected to like the RSS feed in your brain, and it pretty much knows because of what you input into your phone, it deduces what you already want and what you're thinking just based on what everything you. Because it's not like, I mean, how is it going to be wrong? Where's my phone? When you have like everything you like on your phone. Exactly. Like you wouldn't put something you don't like on your phone.
Exactly.
So like it knows I'm a cook and that I'm a social networking whore. I have everything social networking. I like sports and that I like to take pictures and that all this shit. And from that I could just say, hey Siri, you know, even though my thing doesn't have Siri, do this, you know, and then it'll be like, oh yeah, you know, you might like this because of all this other shit in your phone that you've said that you kind of like. I've figured out this is pretty much what you want, you know? So you can, I mean, Siri is the next thing that I think will be similar to the iRobot technology. Where they'll input Siri into your robot at your house. Some type of Apple iRobot, you know, Apple iRobot comes out.
Are these theories or
These are my theories.
No. In Japan, they already have like robots that can like run by themselves and like pour a cup of tea for you and stuff like
Japan
that.
has slave technology already for the robots. What I'm trying to say is like a robot that will literally, can you pick up my dry cleaning? Sure, and it'll get in your car and fucking go and pick up your dry cleaning, and all because of what the shit like it'll be connected to the cloud, so that it can just receive all this shit, and you could just tell it, hey, you can just call it Siri. We could call it Siri. Hey Siri. Could you play this playlist? And it'll just fucking, through its fucking sound system in the robot, will play whatever music you want to listen to while cooking and, like, checking your Twitter or whatever it's doing, you know? Like, it'll be, basically, we'll just be here, you know, telling that fucking robot, we'll be lazy as fuck telling that robot to do everything, just like the white people were lazy as fuck and made black people do everything. That's what it's gonna be. It's just gonna be the next stage of slavery. But technology, I mean, we're already there. We always have our laptops on. They never get to rest. Phones are always on getting shit. They're always hooked up somehow to something. They're chained.
Yeah.
You know? And then when they die, we don't give a fuck. We just get a new one.
Yeah, that's true.
Like...
that's
and we run them into the ground. I mean, we don't give a fuck that the battery life says this much. We'll just keep using it till it dies. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to think about.
It is
like how we treat tech, and then everybody gets mad because people are like racist and shit. But we're like, we totally don't give a fuck about our technology at all because we don't see it. We see it as an inanimate object created by man. We don't see it as life because most people who think life is created by God. They don't think man can create life except through sexual intercourse, which is a godlike miracle.
So what if really it's robots from the future who are enslaving us?
Oh, like the Matrix?
To create themselves to be the future empowered.
Future empowered, then they take over,
and
then they turn on us, and now we're their slaves?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Matrix.
I've never seen the Matrix.
The Matrix is about a war between
singularity, right?
Right. Well, I mean, we're very close. If not, we're like 15 years away. Especially with I mean, who doesn't leave their house with their phone? It's a symbiotic relationship. That's like that little fish next to the shark. what I was saying is The Matrix is basically it's a movie about the aftermath of a war between men and machines. And we created these machines, and basically what happens is we lose the war. And machines take us over, and they put us in these fucking sacks that feed us. And we release all our shit. It's just like us living, but they put us in this mental consciousness called the Matrix, which is Earth, which is like your normal life, us living every day. And most people don't realize that they're in the Matrix. And when you wake up from the Matrix, you end up in this fucking farm where there's infinite amounts of people being used as batteries to power the machines that took over the world. Because what humans did is machines can run on solar power as well as fuel and all that kind of crap, which we help mine, right? They lost the war. The humans lost the war. So in the process of losing the war, they scorched the sky so that the machines couldn't get any sun. So it's always dark on Earth now because of this nuke we launched that just completely fucked up the sky. Almost similar to the extinction of the dinosaurs when the meteor hit and it broke up into a million pieces and then came back down and showered in the sky, and all it was ash and pitch black darkness that caused, the Ice Age and everything. Basically, that happened to us, and now we're enslaved by machines in this consciousness we don't really realize we're in. And there's certain people that can wake up to the fact that, kind of like us, wake up to the fact that, something's a little bit off here. Why does it seem like I don't have control of my decisions? What's going on here? Why I feel so controlled every day? What is this? And then somebody fucking says, "Oh, you take the red pill, Yeah. Like, imagine if that was true.
I know. That's why I was just like,
It would explain, like, people being able to lift up cars and shit like that. Or the things that we create, because it's not really coming from us, it's coming from some.
It would explain why it seems like organic life's like that. You're always taught from like a kid, trying to be like perfect and like repetition.
But it's the ironic thing about machines and man is that no matter how much one's gonna try to struggle for power over the other, they both need each other to survive. And that's the point of the Matrix, is that you can have all the power in the world to be in control, but is being control really the fucking ideal thing for surviving? Or should we all try to live in some kind of singularity with the rest of life around us?
I know, right?
Which is what the food chain is. Which is what the balance of the universe is. Which is what dark matter versus, light and energy is. Antimatter, that stuff. The balance of the universe. The karma, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
The golden rule for the Christians. Now, a lot of people don't realize a lot of things that happen every fucking day just because of the universe balancing itself out. And how it's all ever stretching. And that time isn't one thing and where we are isn't a different thing. It's all just one thing. It's all one thing. It's not... We separate things too much because in our brains we have to have categories or else we can't...
Yeah, it's weird. You
can't put something together if there's no categories in your brain. You have to have like shelves.
And we can only see 2 dimensions.
Right. So we can only see 2 dimensions, and there's supposed to be 12 dimensions.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's 10 dimensions. We can't even witness. We can't even
fathom.
with sensory. Like most people witness it through mushrooms or peyote or what's that other thing that Joe Rogan always likes to talk about?
DMT.
No.
DMT.
The thing about the tribe in the forest.
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. There you go. Yeah.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah, it's another hallucinogen. And
interesting.
The only way we can get past this shit, this weird, almost idiocracy that we live in, is if we get over the religion thing. I think that's the only way. I think we just have to figure out that
we're all just people on Earth.
That God, the way that was described in the books is we're already that guy. We're already in control of being able to take someone's life or save someone's life through technology or create things. We've created buildings, created aircraft, cars, things that make us more efficient. You know, I mean, we've already created our own world.
Yeah.
That's completely different than the world the supposed God has made. It's our world now. I mean, we have to realize that the only way the world can get better is if everybody stops being a fucking moron. You know, like...
Yeah, well, and that's...
Until everybody wakes up that we're all in the fucking Matrix. Like, nobody's gonna really realize that we have control of everything that's fucking going on around us.
That's why we have to have conversations like this, too, and try to, like...
And that's the awesome thing about technology is that we're having this conversation, the three of us right now, but hundreds of people, which doesn't seem like much because we're only a small podcast, but hundreds of people are going to listen to this and hear this opinion. And a percentage of that, hundreds of people, are going to agree with us or change their mind about what they kind of thought. They're going to be like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, my parents explained to me existence completely differently than what these guys are fucking saying. What is this?
I think a lot of people are going to get pissed off.
Well, because 70... I mean, it's a lot of... I think a lot of people are going to get pissed off because we're talking shit about religion. And a lot of people rely on that to survive.
It's not necessary. I guess it's talking shit, but I mean, if you think about it,
we're completely talking shit about it, dude.
All right,
I've already said that the God that was created back then isn't even worth shit because we're basically over-evolved that God. I mean, if you can't see that in front of your face, if you can't wake up to the fact yourself, are you really worth it? Are you really worth trying to there's people who are oblivious, and then there's people who don't want to know.
There's people there who think religion is this great thing,
and then there's others that think that it's a tool, and there's others that take it literally. And that's the thing is like, how is something that everybody follows valid when everybody thinks something different about it within that thing?
Think about when we had some of our first wars, some of our biggest wars that were based on religion, like religious differences. You know, that brought us to war. And I think about that. Religion is supposed to
bring us to peace.
It's supposed to teach you, you know, like everything you learn in the Bible. You know, like thou shalt not steal, blah blah blah.
Right.
You know,
so I'm saying there's something to like I think that's where people get offended the most too, because religion gets ingrained into your moral and belief system of what you think is right and wrong, and when you try to attack somebody's belief system or religion when they've been like a good person or things like that, when they've tried to be the best person they can, they feel like you're telling them they're being negative, like with their life or something like
they're
that.
Not doing the right thing. And my thing about that is, what's the difference between you not believing in God now that with everything that happened in your life than you believing in God then? I mean, you got here anyway. It's just like the money thing. What do we need money to create technology for? If we didn't have money, wouldn't people be able to create technology anyway? I mean, we have the resources. Money's just there as an incentive, just like religion. Religion's there as an incentive to make you believe that if you go down this path after you die during this short life, you will end up somewhere equally awesome or better.
We don't necessarily have all the resources in one spot. We're all divided up into countries. That's why we have to be allies with like Saudi Arabia.
That's the reason why there's
oil.
currency. Yeah, because there's rarity. I mean, if there was an abundance of shit, then we wouldn't ever have to worry about having to buy things.
But now I brought this up to you, and I actually brought it up to my dad, and he said he agreed with me. I understand how there can be a difference in between like what somebody who goes to school for years to become a doctor and save somebody's life, and you know somebody who works the bakery, your local bakery or something like that. But I was saying if you made a cap on how much a person could make, like somebody like why I don't think you can make an argument for somebody needing more than a couple $1 million a year. Like really, you don't need to have like huge expensive jets.
I mean, I wish they would do something like the military does, where they give you the right amount of money to live. Like they don't overpay you and they don't underpay you. They just give you like the right amount.
Like we'll take for example, because I threw this
what do
argument.
People want extra money for anyway? To buy shit that's gonna break that you're gonna get rid of.
I threw this article at somebody, this argument at somebody, and he's like, well, you know, Mike Zuckerberg, how he created Facebook, he worked hard and created this great thing of technology. Is he really worth? Is any one man really worth $536 billion. Really? What?
Well,
why should
it's the same-
anybody have that? And that's like at the top of all these companies. If you get like raised salaries for like everybody, like how much could you do with all that money that they wouldn't be making, that they don't need all that excess money? And we worship, a lot of people worship those people.
Many people.
And
I mean,
it's
celebrities are worshipped.
Come on,
I
if
mean, even
you
celebrities.
raised the average income of like the average American, which like that average household is like in the 30,000s, I think right now, which is pretty pathetic.
Which is like a third. Which is like your what a third ranker would make in the fucking military.
Yeah, like you would have less crime rates. People wouldn't need to steal and shit like that. People could afford to get a good education. Like crime rates will go down. Now you don't have to pay for people to fucking stand and watch people who do crimes, or a whole cafeteria of people who have to make food for the people who do crimes that are in jail, just like rotting in prison.
We could have jobs that matter. That's
where our money goes.
Yeah, we got jobs that matter that do something. You know, could be fucking building houses in Africa for kids for at like $13 an hour. You know, like
it's like people. Yeah, and people with all this fucking money, like.
It all comes down to being greedy and fucking selfish. That's it.
I mean, like,
it's all it comes down to.
Crazy, insane amount of money. You could honestly put that back in our economy and like.
Dude, you can put it into another country's economy. You could help out the world.
You could probably fucking make your
honestly
continent.
Why don't we help? I mean, okay,
what do you use that money for?
We bitch and complain about like, you know, well. We don't have enough money for this, and there's not enough resources
we have
for this.
Greedy assholes who have large sum of it.
And how many third world countries are there? If we were to help those countries, wouldn't we be able to give them jobs? So we'd have to be able to do less shit.
Wouldn't we be able to educate them so they weren't a bunch of fucking apes who fuck little boys and like we couldn't trust them with nuclear weapons? If they were
speaking about fucking little boys, that is the. Speaking about fucking little boys, because. I want to go back to the religion thing really quick. How the fuck can a gigantic group of the fucking population be behind a fucking massive group of people who fuck little boys? Priests, fucking all those people. Like, how do you go to church every Sunday and smile at those assholes? And sincerely believe what's coming out of their mouth. They're telling you, do this in the name of God. Do this in the name of God. And they fuck little boys' asses in the name of God, like on the weekends after fucking church. That is the most ridiculous. Like,
okay, but
that's the proof. Because that guy is supposed to be, if you believe in religion, those guys are supposed to be the voices of God. They're supposed to be directly communicating with the Lord.
Well, my uncle is a minister, and I mean he doesn't fuck little
minister's
boys.
Different. Minister's different than a priest, man. A priest is a Catholic thing. That's what I'm saying. Like a minister is like Christianity or something. A Catholic guy, that's all tradition and stuff, which is where I'm trying to get at. If it's tradition, then obviously somebody's passing down this fucking horrible fucking tradition of fucking little boys, or else it would have stopped by now, don't you think? Like if it wasn't like, oh yeah, you should try this, like fucking priests sitting around their fucking table of gayness and fucking talking about, hey, I fucked this little boy the other day and blah 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 blah, and like how fucking horrible is that? And all of them are just fine with it. They all sit there and they're like, yeah, well, you know, what can you do? And whenever anybody gets caught, they don't even go to jail when they get caught. They get moved churches.
No, they're part of society.
No. Bill Maher said it the best too. When all the presidential candidates and the priests and stuff, they're all talking about birth control, and Bill Maher said, "Oh, really? Because a bunch of old men who wear dresses to work,
old virgins who wear dresses to work,
old virgins who wear dresses to work, really can talk about like
a woman's vagina." Yeah, how can
like,
they talk about? They've never fucking seen one.
Yeah,
they vowed to never see one. They said, "I will never." That's like
for the rest of their life.
How gay is that? And you know that's also a stupid thing because in the Bible it says, "Be fruitful and multiply." Why the fuck can't a priest fucking fuck a chick and multiply? I mean, if he's the voice of God, wouldn't it be possible that if a priest fucked a chick, he could spawn the second coming of Christ? Like.
Well, if he was, fuck little boys. So
so he can't impregnate fucking little boys.
Well,
and like, how's that?
You can't have,
I don't understand.
You can't have a sick person like
I don't
that
understand how you.
Anyway.
Well, you vow to not fuck in your life. That's what a priest does. They vow to be celibate.
Yeah.
It's not okay to just fuck little. That's not the loophole. To fuck. Oh yeah, I can't fuck, but I can fuck little boys. That's what God says. I can fuck little boys. What the fuck? Where in your mind is it okay? At what point? Where in your fucked up life did you get told it's okay to do that? When did it all of a sudden become okay? I don't believe this addiction shit or any of that crap that you can't stop or that you're just, it's something you're attracted to. You can't help it. I've had many different tastes in women my whole life. I can change the taste instantaneously. I'm a fucking guy. I like pussy and tits and ass. That's the way it works with a guy. Yes, you can't tell me that your attraction to little boys is unhelpable and you can't resist this urge to fucking do this. That is a pile of shit, and that is one of the main reasons I despise religion, because all these people are hidden behind this message of love, and all the priests are loving little boys. It's fucking the ultimate retardation to the religion thing.
Yeah, but
and that's not every religion. I'm just saying Catholicism is fucking stupid because of that, and because of other stupid traditions that you have to go through, like Lent. You can't eat meat because something about God. I forgot what the exact story about Lent, but you're supposed to fast. You can't eat meat on Fridays. That's like a Catholic religion. You have to have fish, and like you have to give up something for Lent. What is that?
That's retarded, dude. I feel like Christianity and Catholicism are two of the silliest religions.
My main argument about a religion is, if there's so many religions, how do we know any of them are right? Like, if there's so many religions, then how do you believe a religion? If there's like, how many religions are there in the world? Hundreds? Like we'll just say that.
And everybody thinks their religion's the best.
And everybody thinks their religion's right, and they're never wrong. And on the other side of the spectrum, a scientist is always trying to prove himself wrong. Yeah. So who's the fucking better human there? Sure. No offense to you religious people out there who have gone through your horrible fucking shitty life through goddamn. If you really think that God is helping you through your shitty life, you're listening to this on a computer, in your house somewhere, or on a treadmill with your paid subscription to a fucking gym. Your life's not that bad. Alright, you have extra shit. You don't need to be worshiping God to help you with your life. There are things that are stressful, but don't be a fucking pussy. Don't be a fucking pussy. That's not how humans got here. We didn't get here being pussies. We got here going past fear and fucking not worrying about that shit. There's no way we can advance as a society if we keep going backwards.
Survival of the fittest. I mean, we went through some shit to get to where we are right now. Like,
dude, we went through a ton of shit to get here. A ton of shit. There's plagues that massively wiped out huge portions of the fucking population.
There are dictators who killed millions, and wars that killed millions and millions. Like
we annihilated 2 cities.
Fucking, yeah. And
but I was gonna say, Rogan does say it. There's something. I mean, people take religion too far, but there's something about
having
a group of like-minded people. Like if you had a community,
and there's something about
people,
having like,
but that's the thing.
A base. You know, like a lot of people can't live their life.
You have to base it
like
off
that.
of logic and reason and fucking.
Here's the thing. Usually,
a common moral ethic.
Like people can't live their life like, I don't want to say spontaneously, but without like a scaffolding to hold them up, without like a system to follow, without some type of set of things that they can keep in their head to keep them fucking on a track, so that they don't, you know, because being a person that doesn't really believe in religion or anything like that, you gain your morals and all that off of what you get from around you. Yeah. Whereas a religious person has a bunch of stories in a book that tell them how to react to situations.
And it becomes hard sometimes. You'd be like, what the fuck?
But that's the best part about life, is when you back yourself into a corner and then you get the fuck out of it. That's when you know that humans, it's a human thing. It's not a godlike thing that comes and fucking takes you to be, like, get over your problems. It's you fucking going through the motions and getting over it.
Exactly.
It's not...
Like, I'll be honest, like, I was fucking having a hard time and shit, and my mom, she's like, well, think about it. You don't think about it now, but 10 years from now, you're fucking, you know, paving a way for a better future. And then 10 years from now, it's gonna feel like nothing to you, but then you're gonna be somewhere that you want to be.
I lay in bed.
I mean?
I lay in bed all the time and think about how I feel like I've done nothing with my life. And I was in the military. I've done a little bit. I've done a little bit.
Yeah.
And I lay in bed all the time and think, wow, dude, I'm like the hugest piece of shit. I've never done fucking... I think back on my life and I'm like 90% of it was bullshit. Like 80% of it was bullshitting to get by, and 90% of it was pretty much like nothing that really benefited me this far. And then you go into this spiral of depression when you start thinking like that, and you're like, oh well, I did this one time and that was so stupid, and then you're like, oh fuck. And you think about like a catalyst in your life where like the time like when we were like when I always think I'm a fuck up, I always think about the night that we got caught with the bud. And I always think about how if I would have just kept it in the car, nothing would have ever happened. If I wouldn't have put it, it was my fault because I put the bud in my pocket, and I walked out of the car with it. And if I would have left it in the glove, nothing would have happened.
You're fucking being idiots.
And like anyway. Then that spawns me into like how I like just pretty much the rest of my life like. Oh, this happened to me in high school, and that was horrible. And I got kicked out of fucking high school and had to go to learning center. And then I overlooked the fact that I graduated, that I was fucking done with school 6 months before everybody else. And then I go back further, and I'm like, I really haven't participated in any form of normal life because I never really give a fuck about school. I've never really had a real job besides the military. And like Jamba Juice.
Jamba Juice was the shit.
And Jamba Juice was an awesome job. That was more like fun than a job. And when I think back on the military, the worst parts were when I was sitting in my room thinking about how shitty I was.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think about that, and then at the end of it all, I laugh at myself, and I'm like, what the fuck? Are you an idiot, dude? Look at yourself. You're obviously not a fucking piece of shit if you're laying here thinking about how you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then I go to bed. So, I mean, it happens to me, the best of us, man.
You can't dwell on that kind of thing. That's
but
what
no,
I'm saying.
To become a better person, you do.
Well, yeah.
But you
can't
be a paranoid fuck like me and think back on your whole life every fucking night you lay down.
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose the situations where you over scrutinize yourself.
Everybody reflects on their life, you know, and like, yeah, if you go through some trouble.
But I honestly believe if I don't think that I'm a piece of shit like that I'll become a piece of shit. Because that's how it's how I brought up my life.
Self-help motivating yourself.
It's how
to be better.
I'm an independent guy, man. I've
some people have to work like that.
I know I have parents that are fucking awesome, and they've seem like they've helped me, but really they've let me do whatever I need to do so that I could learn, and that was the best part about them. Is that like I've gone through my life as blind as anybody else without any help from them. Really, but like advice when I needed it. Help when I needed it, you know, like a shoulder to lean on when I really needed it. And besides that, all the lessons I've learned, all the things I know, are all because of me, and all because my whole life, all I've thought was, I'm a piece of shit, I'm a piece of shit, I'm a piece of shit, and everybody likes me, but I'm a piece of shit, I'm a piece of shit, I'm a piece of shit, look where I'm at.
Look at all the shit you've done, though.
But look where I'm at. That's exactly the thing. And even after I've saved a fucking person's life, I still think I'm a piece of shit. Still think I'm a piece of shit.
Just don't take yourself too seriously. That's all.
But I never do, and that's why I laugh at the end of that. That's why I laugh every time. I'm always like, oh well, I gotta go. I get all sad. I get all sad, and I'll be sitting there like this. I'm like, oh shit, my hand on my head.
I'm an emo kid, nonconformist.
And then for a second, I'll be like, are you serious? Like, why are you fucking being a douche?
Really?
Why are you being a douche? And then I'll laugh, and I'll be like,
and then you rub one off and fall asleep.
Go to bed. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That was like last night.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, man. Yeah. I mean, the best.
That's why somebody like Chris wants to get married.
Well, that's why I believe
just be like, and he.
Some of the best people are people who don't believe in religion. Joey Diaz, Penn Jillette.
I learned a lot.
Adam Carolla. You know, fucking Mark Maron. One of the fucking greatest self-scrutinizers in the world.
Who is
that guy? Mark Maron. He's a comedian, and he is a struggling alcoholic back in the day, and he's been sober. And his podcast, he really like, I don't know. There's something about how open he is that I really like, and he talks about a lot of the stuff that's going on in his head. And he's like a depressed guy. He's not happy, but he's not sad, you know. And he's really insecure. So, listening to him talk about himself and how similar it sounds to what I say every day is like it's a good way to just realize like
you're not the only one.
Some of the best people think the same. Yeah, like some of the best people think the same. So it's another reason why I've like strayed away from the religion thing, because religion is 1,000-year-old thinking. Thousands of years old. You're thinking like this completely different societal way than what you should be like now. I mean, we don't even live in nearly the similar society as they did back then. I mean, we live in a completely. I mean, if you told them there was going to be a screen in their bedroom at one point that they could just watch people from around the world on this magical screen, like that, they would never believe that. If you go back 80 years, they would have never believed that. 90 years, 100 years. You could go back very recently and tell them that they would have a phone in their pocket that would allow them to access this
thing called the internet.
Consciousness, this internet thing. And they'd be like, dude, you're fucking nuts. What are you doing? What are you high?
What are you high? Internet? Internet? Is that a new content?
And then most people nobody realizes that.
Is that a planet?
Nobody realizes how fast all this shit has come up.
Man.
You can talk to your phone now and tell it to do things for you. I mean, shit. What more do people want, man?
That's
to disprove religion.
We're the generation too that's happening in too. It's like
it's a trip, dude.
Crazy.
We're living in history, man.
We're very lucky, yeah.
We are very fortunate.
Speaking about lucky, have you seen the new show on HBO called Luck with Dustin Hoffman? It's about horse racing. It's fucking sick.
What?
It's sick, dude. I heard Brian Callen say he didn't really get it on his podcast, but I'm gonna try to explain it. Basically, there's a new horse in a stable, and there's a group of people. Dustin Hoffman was in jail, just got out. He's trying to make a big score in horse racing. He's one character plotline. Then there's another character plotline where it's the guy, the dad from Transformers in a wheelchair. The guy, what's his name's fucking dad?
Shia LaBeouf's dad.
Shia LaBeouf's dad in the movie. He's playing a main character, and then a group of these dudes degenerate gamblers who are gambling on horse races, and they win this thing called the Pick Six, which wins them $2 million in the first episode.
What the fuck?
Betting on this new horse, and that's how the series starts. It's like this whole
big win.
And Dustin Hoffman's character hasn't really been clearly like. You can't tell his intentions yet. Yeah. But it seems like he's gonna try to rig a race or something.
Oh, I see.
So it has to do with the racing too. The thing, what they do in the stables, what the gamblers do, and then what the criminals do to win, and it's like the story about that. But what I really liked about it was the camera angles during the horse races. Yeah. Basically the camera angles are on the backs of other horses. And you're looking at the other horses behind them, racing. And it's really intense camera angles, and it's all real racing. All real horse racing.
That's fucking crazy. And
there's a part, it looks so realistic, I don't know if it was real or not, but they bet on one of the horses, and in the last race, to prevent them from losing, they bet five races to win this Pick Six, and then on the sixth race, they bet every horse, so that they can't lose. So that they can always win the Pick Six on the sixth pick. Mm-hmm. So they get all five, and they have the sixth pick, and the biggest score is like 20. It's 2,600,000.
That's ingenious.
Yeah, it's 2,600,000, and it's that horse that they bet on that basically won in the Pick Six. It's horse 4, and he needs to be in 5th place for them to win this 2,600,000. That horse on the last turn, fucking its leg snaps.
Oh.
and blood and shit goes everywhere. It looks so realistic on the fucking TV, and I'm like, oh shit! And so they don't win the 2,600,000, but another horse, the second best horse, wins for them, and they win 2,400,000 instead. And like that's how the episode ends is with like the second horse winning and them being millionaires and them not wanting to be on TV as the big winners. They're like avoiding cameras and shit because the camera's supposed to come and bring them a big ass check.
Yeah,
it's a fucking intense show. Like I was like, I always watch those horse movies, like Seabiscuit, shit like that, and I never like them. I'm always like,
it's too cheesy.
Like even Black Beauty, you know, or whatever that movie was about the horse. People love that movie, and I'm just like, it's
Yeah, I mean,
and then I watched that, and I'm like, dude, it's gambling. It's about gambling. I'm like, hot damn, yeah. And it's even interesting because they go into the like how the horses get trained and they start off with the gambling. So you get introduced to the show with the gambling, and then you get introduced to the horses. And so you get emotionally attached to the horses while you're emotionally attached to the gambling. So you actually feel the intensity of like the horse race and being there and like gambling on it because you're rooting for the fucking people that are winning, and then you're rooting for the horses, and then something bad happens to a horse, and you're like, no! And it's like, it's a perfect show for, like...
But you don't have to have your money invested in.
And you don't have to like horse racing.
Yeah. Well,
we
it'll
are
get
gonna
you
go,
into it, though.
We are going to go to Del Mar Fair.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like,
see
if we're going to become degenerate gamblers, we might as well drop $50 here and there at the fucking track. I mean, we have one of the most famous ones here.
That's where people make most of their money.
It was fun when your manager was betting on a couple. I didn't have any money on it, and I was getting into it.
It's just as fun as betting on sports, man.
Exactly.
Except when you're at the event, it's a little bit more intense. And that's what's cool about horse racing tracks is because you bet there and then you go sit down.
That's why we have Vegas. You don't have to be at the event. You can be there where you can just drink all the time.
We'll get rich enough. We'll get rich enough just to buy those box seats, like season tickets, and we'll just be sitting there with our little
like Ocean's 11, the guys are
in
there
tuxes, and the people will be like, "Who the fuck are those guys?"
Our
nobodies.
Our tuxes, our joints.
And,
our joints.
And Brad Pitt walks up and he's like, "We're gonna rob the Bellagio." The other two casinos, and
we're gonna rob Verona, Viejas, Sequan, and the big
night.
score, Commerce.
And he's like, "Don't you bug me with it." He's like saying all this stuff, and he's like, "Isn't that yours in last right there?" He's like, "They break late.
Everybody knows this."
And he like tosses his ticket, and he's like,
Well, yeah, the breaking night thing's actually true because what they do is they save all their stamina for like the last two turns, and they'll be in like trying to stay in fifth place, and then they'll fucking gun it around the corner, slingshot that shit around the corner.
Then the other dog is just gonna have that extra heart to beat him out, though. I mean, come on, you gotta stay like second and third, and then
dude, a guy who starts in first place usually ends in about 6th or 7th in a horse race because they're tired as fuck.
They like stay like.
Well, not that many can keep up that pace. Like a lot of horses, dude, they get injured on tracks and shit like that because pushing a body of an animal is different than pushing a body of a human. We have a little bit more potential than most animals. They have a spectrum. They can go from this far to this far. They have attention. Us, we can either be super pussies, fat asses on the couch, or we can be crazy motherfuckers that pull cars. Yeah. You know? Like a horse is just a horse. Like most of them are the same. That's why those races are intense. Just like a NASCAR race, all of the cars are the same. Can't really tell like who's gonna win. It's whoever fucks up first. But yeah, horse racing is a crazy fucking thing to bet on. Oh, come on, Kobe.
Wow.
Trying to go behind the back and then Sean Marion on the other end.
Fucked, Kobe.
Laker game's on right now.
I'm surprised the Lakers are even winning, to be honest.
Me too. But I think Dallas got their asses kicked the other day. I think they're sad.
They did lose to New York. They're in Dallas, though.
Gasol. Out to Murphy. Barnes. To Kobe. Kobe's going to do his little jump shot here.
Oh.
And he makes it! Oh, Kobe's a beast. I called it, though.
That was beautiful.
I did that same thing on the video game. That's like my favorite thing. Oh, Marion. I hate playing that guy on the game, too. Sean Marion's a beast. This team is, on 2K11, they're the hardest team on that game to play. They have a real good defense, real good offense. There's Jason Kidd. Nice. Wow, that's like an alley-oop.
Wow.
Vince Carter.
Man, this isn't good podcasting. People aren't watching the game.
That reminded me of freaking Tropic Thunder. Have you guys seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
No, not Tropic Thunder. I'm sorry.
You mean the Will Ferrell movie?
The Will Ferrell. Let's get tropical.
No.
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie's awesome.
Yeah.
That movie is fucking hilarious, dude.
I fucking love that movie.
You know what sucks is that movie came out in theaters.
Wow.
Nobody watched it. And then it came out. They didn't make
Dude,
that much money.
to be honest, that's one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies. That's a really funny one.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new one yet that he came out with?
Wait. The Spanish one?
No, not the Spanish one. The one where he's selling all his shit on his lawn.
I haven't seen
that one's fucking good.
Wait, it's
I
already
wanted
out?
to see it though.
I downloaded it. Got a screener for it.
Have you heard about the Spanish one he's supposed to do though?
I don't know, man.
Where like he's speaking Spanish like majority of the movie.
I don't even. No, I haven't heard of it.
I forgot.
Last time I saw Will Ferrell was when he shaved fucking Conan's head.
Oh
yeah. No, but
Or he shaved his beard. I mean, he shaved Conan's
and then
beard.
there's gonna be the Sacha Baron Cohen movie,
The
The
Dictator.
Dictator.
yeah, I've seen previews of that. That one looks good.
I'm actually excited for this new Bourne movie coming out too. The Bourne Legacy's coming out with the guy from The Hurt Locker. I always forget his name, but he's a great actor. Came out in The Town.
Channing Tatum
And Ed Norton is the
Edward
villain.
Norton. Not Channing Tatum. Don't ever disgrace fucking.
I don't know.
Channing Tatum's a bitch. Except for that,
I'm
The Warrior.
Military movies.
The Warrior was a pretty good movie. Channing Tatum.
Wait, the fighting.
MMA movie.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I've seen that one. That was pretty good.
I forgot his name. He's in The Hurt Locker. He's a white dude. But he's playing like the main character.
And Edward Norton's the villain.
Edward Norton probably, yeah, probably. I believe.
I keep hearing all these rumors for a
Rounders 2.
Yep.
Yep. I've been hearing them too.
But
I
don't think anybody's got anything together. They're just rumors.
I think it'll cost too much money to get the actors.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Because to get John Turturro, and then to get Matt Damon
and
Edward
Edward Norton,
that's already like $200 million. Like fucking out the window.
Yeah, these guys are all huge now. So.
And that movie didn't even cost $200 million.
Low budget.
It was like a hell of a budget.
You would think they would do it low budget though.
Well, I mean, they don't know shit about like.
But I mean, it could probably be low budget because
there's like no script or anything for it.
I would assume it would have to do something with the World Series, him playing in the World Series, and it would just be kind of like.
That would be very cool.
A main factor in that movie.
It would be very cool for him.
So like majority of the cast could be poker players. And
that's what I'm saying.
But when would it take place? Would it take place after? Because they can't really do that. So it would have to be him.
It would have to be.
The only way they could do this movie is him losing the World Series and trying to win it again. Like going that time, losing, coming back, making money, and winning it again. And that's the only way I see Hollywood regurgitating it, because Hollywood believes that a good story is exactly the same as another story. I mean, haven't you noticed? Footloose came back out. They're making the Three Stooges is coming out. What the fuck? They came out with a movie that's identical to Singing in the Rain. Singing? You've never seen Singing in the Rain? Singing in the Rain is a movie from like the 40s, dude. And it's like one of the fucking greatest like movies of all time. Singing in the rain, I'm singing in the rain, and I'm singing.
Yeah, I know.
I'm singing.
I know that song.
In the rain. It's a movie, and it's The Artist that just recently came out. It's almost an identical movie to that movie.
There's a movie I was watching earlier today. My mom likes to watch those like AMC or Turner Classic movies, like old movies from back in the day.
Yeah.
And there's this movie, I forget the name of it, but it had the exact same plot as Horrible Bosses.
Really?
There were these three guys, and they all had problems with their wives.
Okay.
And they wanted to murder their wives, but they were trying to figure out a way to do it and not get caught. And then,
you talking about the Lady Killers with Tom Hanks?
This is an old movie.
Movie.
Black and white movie, like back in the day, like 30s, 40s.
Oh wow. So they regurgitated it multiple times since then.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, I understand the genres of movies and how they get, like romantic comedy's always the same, fucking comedy's always the same, action movies always the same, and I think we just ran out of shit to write about. I don't think anybody's original anymore, or all the original people who are writing aren't getting noticed. Because
I feel
that's not the stereotype of what everybody wants.
Well, that and because studios invest so much money on movies, they're not going to risk it on a movie that they think is shitty because obviously what they think is always right, for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they make the shittiest movies of all time.
True.
God damn it! All right, so the Kings, LA Kings. This is hockey. We're playing the Colorado Avalanche tonight. I know people probably don't watch hockey, but anyway, we're 1-3 against them, and we've lost the 3 games that we've lost by more than 3 goals, and we're down 4-0 right now in the first quarter.
Wow.
First period.
First period.
Fucking shit. And it's just because the Avalanche's forecheck is just amazing, and they attack they crash the net.
They
can't play defense.
They can't defend it, huh?
And I don't know who's in as a goalie today, but what can you do? We're fucking 3-5-2 in our last 10 games, and so are they. So I thought we were gonna come in and beat them because the last time we played them was
still
like
in playoff contention.
Unless we win out, I don't think so, man. To be honest,
Word?
I think we're
the
like
playoffs
6th or 7th
for them.
The playoffs for hockey should be coming around here pretty soon, a couple months. There's still quite a bit of games left, but for a hockey team, it's more about points, and we're kind of pretty far behind. Unless we stop fucking these, like Colorado can't be scoring 4-goal games if we want to catch up to them, and us not scoring shit. So I don't know, we got to step it up. But my Rangers are doing good. We're like one of the top 2 seeds right now.
Nice.
Doing all right.
Speaking of sports, have you guys read an article? I know everybody hates to talk about the subject, but I'm going to bring it up. I'm sorry. Tebow.
Tebow.
Brady Quinn recently was dissing Tebow.
Oh, awesome. I love Brady Quinn.
Yeah, some quarterback controversy. Pretty much just saying what everybody else knows, that
Tebow can't throw.
That he's a horrible quarterback.
Yeah.
And when he said a game earlier
not
in the
horrible,
season, he's not horrible,
bad.
but he's bad. He shouldn't get all this.
He can fix it. It takes years.
He shouldn't get all this all this attention, all this fame, and saying like, oh, he's great, he's this, he's that. But I mean, when you look at the game of football and you look at his stats,
a quarterback's got to be able to throw the ball.
He's a very poor passer.
Well, you know what? He's still
not very.
Young,
he's a poor passer.
He's getting better.
I think he had the best game of his career against Pittsburgh.
And he was steadily getting better in terms of accuracy.
That game.
The last 4 games he was playing, and steadily increased his accuracy.
You got to give him some benefit of the doubt too. I mean, he's got Demaryius Thomas, but they traded Brandon Stokely. Who's he throwing to out there?
And he also. I'm not defending the guy because I hate him, but he also doesn't. I mean, he hasn't really played. In the NFL, so you can't. I mean, making the Cam Newton, Tim Tebow argument is it's just like making the PS3 Xbox argument. Like, you can always make an argument for an argument against. You're just never gonna win.
I don't know.
I think that
Cam Newton's a fucking beast.
I know Cam Newton can throw the ball, and like Nick said, Cam Newton has people to throw to.
Yeah.
But Tebow throws like a girl. I mean, I forgot who said it today on ESPN, but he was talking about, to be a quarterback in the league,
clutch.
You gotta fucking be able to throw the ball, and Tebow can't throw the ball, and that's pretty much all you gotta say about it. And it's the same thing as did you ever see Bad Teacher? And the part it was in the preview where fucking the guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall and How I Met Your Mother, Jason Segel, he's like talking to the kid, and he's like, LeBron's fucking Michael Jordan's way better than LeBron. He's like, what are you saying? Because he's got 6 rings. Why does everybody always use that argument? He's like, it's the only argument you need, Sean. It's like, it's the same thing with Tebow. He can't throw the ball. It's the only argument you need. I mean, until he improves, you can't really say anything after 1 year of him starting, and not even a year of him starting. So it's the same thing as the same thing as everybody thinking Jeremy Lin's this all-star player. He's just doing good right now, and it's good to have him on your
team. And they're trying to compare Lynn to Tebow. Right? What's his name? What the fuck's Linning?
I did the same thing with Jeremy Lin, actually, comparing to Tebow, because he came in and he's winning games for his team when they had a better quarterback or better players in, and they weren't winning. Like, so it's the same thing. I mean,
well, you know what? There was actually talent,
and the fans getting behind Lynn, just the way that Tebow's fans.
He wasn't that bad in Houston, though. They have way too many guards in Houston, man. Like, they're stacked,
and they're not really that. I mean, they're not that great either.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like the Knicks. I mean, come on. The Knicks they were at an all-time low right there with no Stoudemire.
And now they have like a big
Anthony.
3 going on, kind of with Amari and him and with Lynn, and then they just got J.R. Smith, right? So and J.R. Smith's fucking good.
Yeah, he is.
And that first game he came in, he had like 10 points and a couple of threes in that game.
He hit like 3 threes, I think. Yeah,
beast in it.
The thing about ESPN articles, things like that, these people have to write all the time, and it's not always for hype, but most of the time they don't have shit to write about.
Yeah, no, I mean it was a bullshit article, but I mean
you can read most of them, and you're like, you read a paragraph. It's like when an actor takes a script and he reads like 10 pages and says this fucking shit's gonna suck. Yeah. It's like you read the first couple paragraphs of an article, you're like, oh shit,
this guy can write,
or this guy's either writing an article that I'm gonna want to read, or he's saying shit that I don't fucking give a fuck about, or he's not making any sense.
Yep.
And I watch ESPN a lot, and I think it's a problem because I see everything they say, and most people who watch ESPN will turn it on at night to watch Top 10, and that's like the best part about ESPN.
That's what I used to do after work.
Or watch like fucking Around the Horn. But I literally, if I'm not playing PlayStation, I'm editing and it's on. Because what the fuck else is there to watch but Jersey Shore, retarded Republican debates, shitty Comedy Central shows, fucking The Big Bang Theory on every other channel. Like, what is there to watch? Seriously.
You just have to find your way to catch like Bill Maher or pay for a station.
I've also been getting into these stupid fucking fishing shows. That's how bad TV's been getting. And I'm getting into these dudes on the outdoor channel on the weekends. They go out into the middle of these swamps and they fish and they're like, oh yeah, take out this motherfucker.
The Bassmaster Classic is coming up.
When I wake up, like this morning when I woke up, I turn on like the Space Channel where they like talk about it and they're like
I don't have that many channels in here. I only have up to fucking like the normal cable channels, and then I have like HD. I just have 5 through 10 channels, 5 through 10.
Because anything with like nature, anything like some like guys like climbing on the sides of mountains and stuff, like crazy shit. You got to be crazy to do that when they're just like strapped.
Adrenaline junkies mostly do that.
Oh,
shit.
Man.
I mean, some people are addicted to that feeling of fear.
I can watch it, but
that's why people go to movies and get scared and all that stupid shit, because we're just junkies for something.
By the way, I heard the what's it called, the Woman in Black
with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, I heard that was
fucking scary. I heard it. Yeah. I just started watching The River, the show The River by Olin Pele. Yeah, in a van down by the river. Yeah, it's a pretty good show by the guy who made Paranormal Activity movies, and it's about a river that the further you go down it, the more reality becomes skewed. So the further you go down it, like the main character that's lost, they're looking for him, and he goes so far in, he gets godlike powers. He can walk on water. He can create things out of the palm of his hand. He has fire in his hands, and like the further you go into this like river, the more paranormal things happen to you, more fucking weird fucking shit you see. And they have all these old archive videos of him, because they're trying to find him. Yeah, they found his ship where his ship crashed, and they find all these tapes, and they start watching him, and he has all these ridiculous powers. And they get into this area, it's like a panic room in this ship, and they find this thing. It's probably like 2 feet long, almost looks like a giant football. And somebody goes up to it and touches it, and it wakes up, and it's like a fucking gigantic bat, and it's like a demon, and it flies the fuck out, kills a couple people in the process out while it's in the dark fucking hunting him. They get the ship back going to go find this guy, and they're going deeper and deeper into this thing while this thing's fucking with them. More like deeper and deeper into the river while this demon thing's fucking hunting them. And once you wake it up, supposedly according to this legend about it, it kills everybody that woke it up. So far in the show, 2 people have died.
And this bat's
they're going pretty deep into this river where you're like, whoa, this is really weird. And it's filmed in that Paranormal Activity camera angle where it's all cameras off of. It's like either a sitting camera or a camera that's like chilling on a wall, like a security cam or something like that. And it's fucking creepy shit, dude. It is creepy. Like even shit happens during the day. It's fucking scary, dude. It's a good show. I like it so far.
Have you seen Apollo 18?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Except for the ending. The last 10 minutes pissed me off. I recommend you, if you want to see it, watch up to just like right when the guy's about to get onto the last ship.
Yes.
And then after that, turn it off.
Turn it off. And just guess what happens.
Yeah, because
you'll be pissed.
Because I told Nick about it. It's moon rocks. This is the monster. Spoilers. But there's moon rocks are organisms that they are killing people, and they find out because they find this Russian.
How fucking stupid is that?
It was just a dumb ending. I would have rather it been like aliens fucking with people's brains, like them making people think that the rocks were alive, and it ended up being like that ship crashes into a thing, and then it goes into a view of the Earth, and you just see like a UFO or something like circling Earth. Like I would have been okay with that shitty ending than the shitty ending that they made.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe. Because if moon rocks were alive, we'd be fucked already. Because we have them here, you fucking morons. If we went to the moon, they brought back fucking moon rocks.
It was getting a good movie because they were showing all the controversy and corruption. Like they weren't gonna let them back to
the Earth. Government fucking kept them. The government ignored them.
Ignored them. They're like, sorry,
have you seen Moon?
We'll tell your wife you died. You died.
Have you seen Moon? Moon's another. No. If you like that kind of government thing, you will like Moon better because Moon's about a dude who's a clone that doesn't know he's a clone.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And he mines minerals on the moon that keep like one little chunk of it can energize the whole entire world.
Isn't that one sci-fi movie where the guy's like a robot hunting robots and then he finds out he's a robot?
No. It's a movie. It's Sam Rockwell. He's the main actor and he's like the only actor in the movie.
Oh.
And it's just about him on a space station that's on the moon and him mining these minerals and like he tries to contact Earth all the time but they just ignore him. He's doing his work up there, and he still believes he has a family back at home, and he believes he has a daughter that's like 12 years old and a wife still, but the daughter's grown, like she's old, she's like 50, and the mom's dead, and he's in his mind he still has the memories of the original guy.
Oh wow!
And he meets a clone, and that's when he figures it out, and then he gets all crazy because one of them dies out in the middle, and he goes out there, and like all this crazy shit happens with the government. Like keeping him out there and shit. It's pretty fucking good movie. It's like one of my favorite movies. Moon. Yeah, it won awards at Sundance.
It's an indie film.
Yeah. It really low budget. Really good camera angles though when they're out when he's out on the moon, and it makes you feel real lonely. And then you realize that he lives in a farm of basically clones of him.
Yeah.
And he goes underneath this fucking thing. I'm basically telling the story of the whole movie, but it's still fucking good when you watch it. He goes down and he finds like, basically it's like a morgue of all these fucking like sliding doors, and they're all just him in there, just like all in the bottom of the basement. It's all him, and they're all just clones of this guy who fucking like works on the moon by himself, so that they don't have to make actual people work up there. He's just a clone. Wow. And he realizes it at the end, and the climax. Yeah. And the climax of the movie is like him finally talking to his daughter and realizing that he's a clone, like he's actually a clone at the end, because he thinks he's the original guy, and then he meets the clone and he's like, "Oh, you're a clone." Like he's like, "You're not me. You're just some guy. You woke up like 5 minutes ago."
Yeah.
And then you're tripping, and you find out that the one that died was the original one that you were watching in the beginning of the movie.
Oh wow.
And like the second half of the movie, you're watching a clone. It's so good. It's so fucking good, dude. It's so fucking good. It's like one of my favorites, dude. That movie sent me on a trip. I had to watch it twice because I was like, whoa. I gotta watch that again knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you watch Inception and you're like, what the fuck did I just see? I get the idea. Let me watch it again. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, this is great. And then you watch it even more and you're like, well, this is kind of stupid. And then you watch it more and you realize, wow, the acting's horrible. And then you watch it more and you're like, it's the biggest piece of shit that's ever been made.
And then you watch it one more time. Like,
but I've seen Moon like 7 or 8 times and never thought that. Every time he fucking gets me, I'm like, well, what exact point did they decide that this guy's a clone? And like, I'm trying to figure out the exact point where like I can figure out that this guy, like the script is like foreshadowing that he's a clone. Because I always look for that in the movies. Like when you're trying to figure something out, there's always something that they give away that you don't notice because you're paying attention to what's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking flick right there. Pre-order Mass Effect 3, y'all. Shit's coming out soon. It's gonna be a great game.
Demo was awesome, but now I gotta get PS3 repaired.
I've seen some early gameplay from developers. It looks pretty good, dude. I was trying to resist not seeing anything about the game until I played it, but couldn't fucking resist watching some commentators play it. What other good games are coming out? Fucking BioShock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
UFC just came out. Or is coming
game.
out. What else is coming out? The Show. Coming out in a couple weeks.
Show.
South Park game comes out this year.
South Park game coming out.
Yeah, you're telling me about that. That one's supposed to be crazy.
Oh! What else?
Well, all the usual sports games will roll out. Hopefully the new Madden will be way better.
Who do you think's gonna be on the cover?
Of Madden?
Tebow?
You think? No.
Somebody shitty like Marshawn Lynch or
You
something?
think they'll do another ESPN survey?
Oh, I had a joke. I made a joke about the Madden game.
Tournament of
About the Madden game. You know why Madden is so shitty?
4K, Mighty Pull.
Well, Mighty Bell, there's Brown on the cover.
That's true.
How do you expect it to be a good game?
Well,
We have the worst team on the cover.
Who was it supposed to be? It was supposed to be someone else.
No, they voted. It was a vote. It was a bracket vote
Yeah.
for it. Same thing they did for the NFL Blitz cover, the new one.
He beat out somebody that should have.
I'm pretty sure he beat out like Rodgers or somebody like
either
that.
Rodgers or Clay Matthews. He beat one of those two, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, well, Clay Matthews. I would
put Peyton Hillis like.
Who? My thing is, who's the retards that voted for him? All the people that hate LeBron. Like we gotta get another Cleveland guy. We gotta get another Cleveland guy.
You know
the
what?
guy hasn't even fucking averaged 100 yards a game.
Nick, I'm sorry, but all the white people got really excited that.
Dude, I wanted
Phillip.
There's a white running back that can kick ass, and
I wanted Phillip Rivers on the cover, man.
Everybody wanted Rivers on the cover. I actually want him in my pants, but save that for a different night.
Yeah, so what? That'd be the most like biased white person thing to put Peyton Hillis and then Tim Tebow on the cover. The white running back to be that like didn't do shit last year, and the wannabe quarterback who's more like a running back. That'd be pretty pathetic.
Who's gonna be on next year's? Nate Caden. By the way, I served Nate Caden at my work the other day.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Serving beer and pizza.
Huh, did you purposely spill beer on him or something?
No. Why?
No, I don't know. I didn't.
No,
I don't even know. Is he
I think
gonna
Ryan
come
Matthews
back?
was on the cover of the Mexican version.
So that was Luis Castillo.
I think
Oh,
it was.
yeah,
I think
it
it's
was
Ryan
Castillo.
Matthews. No.
This year?
That was a couple years ago. I
I think
think
you're
this
right,
year's was Ryan Matthews. Yeah. I think I saw that. I don't know. I'm a game nerd. Oh,
Anyway,
Justin Verlander's on 2K12 for the baseball games.
That's a trip. I was telling Nick that I served Nate Caden the other day at my work.
What?
Yeah.
Did you tell him why the fuck do you suck at kicking field goals? Or did you ask him why do you look like my friend Chris Murdmackey?
I should have pulled it up on my phone. Like, hey,
inside joke. Sorry, guys.
Is this
Chris Murdmackey's a blonde Bieber-like looking child who
he's a DJ now.
Oh, like Shay Levy.
Like Shia Levy. Yeah.
Actually, Shay's pretty good. I've heard some of his shit.
Yeah, I think I've never heard Murder Mackey's, but I think
to be honest, I always have thought. Sorry, Shay, if you're listening, but I've always thought Shay was kind of a douchebag.
So did
I don't know. I feel like he's gotten nicer since after high school.
Oh, definitely. Well, everybody matures a little bit more, so they're not such assholes. But no, in high school, he was kind of a douche. But he's pretty cool now.
He still kind of is, but I
mean,
like it. It makes
everybody
more sense
has
now.
a chip
He's
on
like
their shoulder a little bit. Some just showed a little bit more. And those people in our society are considered douchebags, but whatever.
Or arrogant. I mean, there's a difference between a douche and I mean, he was a dick when he was in Music Machine or whatever. I don't even know why we're talking about this guy. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows who he is.
Yep.
They barely know who we are. We have to have a podcast where we talk about ourselves.
So sorry, we went way off topic. So we're talking about the cover of Madden. Who do you think is going to be on the
next year
for this coming year, Madden 13?
Well, personally, I think it's going to be Eli. But I want, if it has to be a giant, I want Pierre-Paul on the cover.
He would deserve it.
But I think they should always put a Super Bowl guy on the cover. Whoever won the Super Bowl last year, there should always be a player from the Super Bowl or Super Bowl. One of the teams that was in the Super Bowl, their players deserve to be on the cover.
I'd be fine with a Hakeem Nicks or a Victor Cruz.
Or at least be in the top 10 in your category of fucking like your position. At least be in the top 10. I mean, where the fuck was Peyton Hillis ranked last year?
I bet you anything it's gonna be Gronk.
Probably lower than most fullbacks.
Huh?
Peyton Hillis, his ranking in running backs is probably lower than most fullbacks.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
He's definitely. I can probably bet on it that he was worse than Marcel Reese last year.
Well, last
he's the fullback
year,
for the Raiders.
Last year,
he's an ex wide receiver in college.
But the year before he got the cover deal.
So, have you guys seen Reese play? I mean, I know you're Charger fans and you don't really watch Raiders, but he's made plays in Charger games.
Yeah.
I want them to trade Kevin Boss and put Marcel Reese at tight end. I think he's fast, he's got hands, and he can't block. Really. Like, he's good at pass blocking. He's not good at run blocking, so putting him at tight end, maybe develop him a little bit more because he's kind of young.
Yeah.
Well, he is more of like a pass-catching fullback.
Yeah,
right?
He is.
He is. Yeah.
Well, hey, he's all right at blocking.
Yeah, but
he's
I mean,
good.
Like,
he's a good lead blocker.
That's where
sometimes.
he makes a lot of his plays, though. Like,
he has like 3
those
touchdowns.
little,
He has 3 touchdowns on 5 passes, I think.
yeah,
5 catches on his career.
he'll go out on the flat and
he
take
leads
off.
the Raiders in touchdowns.
No, I don't even know who leads. I think Demo leads the Raiders in touchdowns. Or no, D-Mac leads the Raiders in touchdowns. Probably Darren McFadden, probably, or Michael Bush.
Probably. I think it was Michael Bush.
Or but I know Janikowski leads the team in points. He's beast. I heard on one of the basketball games the other night, like, I think it was like watching highlights, and somebody said, "Oh, this guy's hit more threes than Janikowski." It's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny joke. I was surprised nobody had said it before. I haven't ever heard that. Like, oh shit, that's funny because some guy. I think it was Darren Williams hit because he hit 8 threes in the game. It
might have been Michigan because they shot like 30.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was Michigan.
34 threes.
It was Michigan. Yeah.
And they hit like 14 or something.
Yeah, they were shooting 50 from 3. Yeah, you're right.
Damn.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up because unless you guys want to talk about something else, I have nothing else to talk about.
I don't know. We kind of ran out of gas, so we weren't on topic at all today. Well, not on topic as in we had things to talk about, but on topic on the fact that we would talk about something for like a couple minutes, and then we'd talk about something completely different, and then go back to it, and then go talk about. We had like major ADHD. I love it.
That's what we should call our podcast.
What, the ADHDcast?
Yes.
That'd be funny. That'll be the name of the episode is ADHDcast.
Yes.
Definitely.
Settled.
Yeah, and then I'll put something like some song that makes people not want to sit down. Let's go smoke some pot. That's what I want to put on there. Let's go smoke some pot. Let's go smoke some pot.
That should be our ending.
Let's go smoke some pot. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. That's a good song. Everybody solo. That song's so fucking funny. I forgot who it's by, but my friend from high school, Randy Allen,
Randall Allen.
He always played that shit. It made me laugh so hard. The song's fucking hilarious. Let's go smoke some pot. Let's go smoke some pot. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
Indeed.
You can find us on Twitter at JVegas420, Nick's at Nicholas Baltz, and Yage is at MiniGuy619. We'll see you guys later.
Deuces.
See you later, y'all.